This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be taking a look at the NOMATIC Navigator Collapsible Sling 3-liter, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. If you find this video helpful, make sure you subscribe so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. So the main pack material on this thing is a 210D nylon. We're used to seeing this from NOMATIC. We've seen it on their products in the past, and all of their collapsible line uses it in some way, shape, or form. It does have a DWR coating, which gives it that a little bit extra protection in light rain. If it starts pouring or you're in rain for an extended period of time, you might want to kind of head for cover or kind of shelter a little bit, but it does a very good job at protecting from water, especially for how thin this fabric is. It's also very durable for how thin it is, and we really dig their use of this fabric on this collapsible line. We have zoom zippers here on both of these exterior zippers. These are the only 2 zippers on the whole pack apart from the zipper that closes the collapsing section of it. But overall they work very well. No issues to report with how the zippers work. And we have these little paracord like pulls with the hard plastic on the end, which makes grabbing it in any situation really easy and just very easy to open and close these zippers. Moving backwards a little bit, we have a YKK buckle here. It feels a little bit small, especially for how big that this can feel at some times, but it doesn't open when you don't want it to, and it's very snappy and quick to open and close. Very, very strong buckle. And we have these little strap savers on either side here. Strap keepers, not strap savers. So if you'd like to wear it a little bit tighter, like when I wear it as a crossbody, I like to keep it a little bit tight to my chest. There's a bit of extra strap, and these keep that a bit more manageable. And as you can see from the back panel here, it is a little bit odd looking, but that's because this encases the sling when you turn it, or you collapse it, I should say. And this is kind of like the outer shell here. So it is a bit weird. There's kind of like a hinge on the back panel. We'll get a little bit more into that when we get into the harness, but it does look a little bit funky, but because it is a collapsible sling, you have to make a few different compromises. But overall, I think it looks very nice. It can be a little bit droopy depending on what you have in there. Like if you have more stuff on the front side than the back side, it can droop a little bit. But we do have these compression straps here on the side, which can help with that. And we'll get more into that when it comes to fit notes and stuff like that. But this really does help with the appearance of it, I think. So if you kind of loosen these up, it's hard to tell when you don't have it on, but it can droop quite a bit more because there isn't really anything holding it. So if you do pull on those, it kind of holds it up a little bit more, which makes it look better, I think. And I also think it makes it a bit comfier because it's not hanging so much and spreads out the weight a little bit better. So when it comes to the harness system, we do have a pretty thin strap here. If you're wearing like a thin t-shirt or a tank top and you really pack this thing out, and you can fit quite a bit of gear inside here, this can dig in a little bit. But for the most part, if you have it, normally filled and you're wearing just like a regular shirt, it doesn't dig in so much, and it is fairly comfortable, especially for how thin it is, and that's nice to see because you obviously want to save weight with this. It's a collapsible sling. Obviously the back panel we went over a bit, but it does it feels a bit kind of like bricky when you're wearing it because it's very structured. It's like very, very dense padding. Obviously the airflow channel's here to keep things cool, and there's kind of like a thin layer of mesh on there. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it does get a bit warm on hot days. Obviously this whole thing is black, so it kind of just like accepts or like brings in all of those sunlight rays, especially if it's like a sunny day. So it takes a bit of getting used to, and it can be a bit warm and just kind of feel like a brick, especially when you have a lot of stuff in here. It's just, it's very structured. I don't really know how to describe it than that. It's a very interesting back panel, and it really takes some getting used to. And just to talk a little bit more about these little compression straps, they kind of make like a little bit of a hip hugger on the side here, which can add a little bit of comfort, and I'm gonna do the fit note next so you can kind of see them in action. So I've got it in sling mode right now. I'm not sure how well you can see, but I do have these compression straps all the way tight right now. And if I do loosen them up, you saw how much that fell down. Obviously you can tighten up the strap more, but those really do help kind of keep it close to your body and add that little bit of comfort. And obviously these little hip huggers that I just mentioned assist with that too. They kind of make it more comfortable once you have it pulled up. It does feel a little bit droopy, even when you do have those all the way cinched down, but those really do help with, I think, the look and also the comfort of wearing the sling. So I've got it in fanny pack mode now, and as you can see, I have these tightened again, and I'm gonna loosen it just one more time. Same kind of thing, it gets much more droopy, and the back panel kind of folds in on that hinge we mentioned earlier. So these really do help when you're wearing it. It doesn't really help compress the sling. Like, it's not going to make it less than 3 liters. It's not going to bring it down to 1 liter or anything like that. And I also want to mention that I think this is probably one of the more comfier ways to wear this. I typically wear it crossbody, but this is actually very comfortable. And I think that's because of the back panel and how rigid it is. So when it comes to secondary compartments, we just have the one outer pocket here. So I'll pop that open real quick. I've just got a snack bar in there right now. This is actually not the snack bar I normally eat. I already ate my snack bar today. This is just one we had in the office. But this is a good place to put, quick use items like that. Like if you're out exploring a new city and you want a snack, or you could put your wallet in there or other small items. Your phone will probably not fit in here. If you have one of those new folding phones, it will fit. But I have an iPhone 11 with a small case, just a standard iPhone, not the big one, and it would not fit in here because of this. The zipper there is not wide enough. So you're not gonna be able to put your phone in there unless you have a smaller phone. But it is a good place for your wallet or a snack or something like that. But it does share space with this main compartment. So right now there is a fair amount of space in there because I don't have this thing fully packed, but it just rests, right on top of that main compartment. So if you really pack this thing out, really max out those 3 liters, it is hard to kind of get things inside or out of this. There is no, organization in here or anything, no pockets. On the inside, you'll see, on the main compartment, I should say, there are a bit of organization, but nothing to speak of in here. But that's not really a big issue for me because it's just a quick use compartment. I'm not gonna load a bunch of stuff in there. It's like while I'm traveling, exploring a new city, like I said, I wanna put a snack, my wallet, maybe like a map where you could fold it up and put it inside of here. But that's about it. I'm not gonna put much more in there, and this pocket works really well for that. So now moving into the main compartment, we'll pop this open. You got kind of a circular zipper there, has a little bit of curve at the end. And I don't have a ton of stuff in here, but this is some of the stuff that I was carrying around this week, and then I packed a few different things in there. And we just used, as you can see, we do have 2 elastic pockets on the front side and 2 elastic pockets on the back side here, and the rest is just open space. So these are mesh pockets that have elastic toppers on them. So you can put larger items in there and still lock them down, or the elastic is pretty snappy, so you can put a smaller item in there and it'll kind of keep it out of the hubbub of the main compartment. So I'm gonna take the Bluetooth speaker and the Instax printer out of these 2 back ones, and you can see how this pack sags a little bit if you overload it on the front side. Right now the compression straps are helping a little bit, but it's kind of hard to see, but it's sagging down because there's not much structure to these materials. So that's something important to note. If you load it out or you pack it full and then you take some of the stuff off the back wall here to use it or whatever, it is going to sag a little bit more. So put the stuff that you're going to take out in the front and the stuff that's going to stay in the back, if that makes sense. Just have my wallet in the front pocket here, and then a Volta charger here, charging cable. Now, I always use the wrong word, and I'm feeling a little under the weather, so if I use the wrong word there, I'm sorry, but Volta cable. In the main area here, you can see we have a ton of space. And I found the main area in the pockets to be kind of hard to use them at the same time, especially if you have bigger items. So if you put something bigger in one of these pockets, it kind of eats into the main compartment and it's hard to put stuff in here, especially because this pocket doesn't go it does go all the way to the bottom, but it kind of folds in a little bit. So then items if you have a flat item that you put on the bottom of the main area here, it can kind of get underneath that, and it's hard to see it and kind of hard to find it. And something else that I noticed when using this, especially in a not optimal lighting conditions, like if it's even starting to get close to dark, not even fully dark yet, it's hard to see inside of here. Obviously we have good lighting here, but it's all black inside of there. So it can be kind of hard to find things, especially if you have a black cable or a black dongle or something like that. It just kind of blends in with that material, especially when the light starts going down. So that's important to note as well, especially if you don't have great eyesight. Like I don't have great eyesight in my right eye, and I could notice it. Like normally I don't, but I could notice it in poor lighting conditions. But now that everything's out of there, and you can see that this is a ridiculously huge space for 3 liters, I wanted to show you, I guess maybe I'll just do it like this. So right now it is completely compressed with these compression straps, and if you loosen those up, as you can see, you're really not losing space in the compartment. So I know a lot of times compression straps are to kind of make it smaller, but these are really just for, I think, helping while you're wearing it, make it more comfortable, and also to kind of make it look better on the front face. Because if you had just a couple things in here, this material's just kind of going all around. But then if you tighten that up, it kind of cinches it to the sides. So those are, I think, mostly for, because as I said, while you're wearing it, not so much to compress it down from 3 liters to 2 liters or to 1 liter. But we can also go over how to stuff it inside of its case now. Get all the air out. These materials are super lightweight. So you bring the strap to the front, and you just kind of try to get everything within the footprint here of that back, the rigid back panel there. And you fold it over, and we've got a zoom zipper around the exterior here. Just kind of shove the material in there. And then this is what it looks like when it is folded up. So it fits nicely into your hand. It's got a little loop here so you could like attach it to a carabiner or through a strap to put it inside your pack. But overall, this thing does a really good job as a sling, especially with such lightweight materials. And obviously it folds up really small or collapses really small. So you can slide it, and you could fit this into another not huge sling. Like if you're out on the, like you and your partner are out for the day and one of you has a sling and you think you might want another sling to fit more stuff inside of, you could put this in your sling and then pull it out when you needed it. But obviously the more prevalent use for this would be to put it in a day pack or in your travel bag for use once you arrive, especially if you're trying to save space and weight. And this does a really good job of that because as you can see, it is very small and just very compact, and you can slide it almost anywhere. So there you have it, the NOMATIC Navigator Collapsible Sling 3 liter. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.